Design Thinking, lecture number 3. The theme of the lecture is problem clarification. So according to the plan of our lecture, we are going to discuss the following questions. The first, problem clarification. Second, understanding of the problem. And the third is problem analysis. As an integral part of design thinking process is the definition of the meaningful and actionable problem statement, which is the design thinker will focus on solving. This is perhaps the most challenging part of the design thinking process, as the definition of a problem will require you to synthesize your observations about your users from the first stage and in the design thinking process, which is called the emphasize stage. When you learn how to master the definition of your problem statement, or design challenge, it will greatly improve your design thinking process and result. Why? A great definition of your problem statement will guide you and your team's work and kick-start the ideation process in the right direction. It will bring your clarity and focus to the design space. On the contrary, if you don't pay attention to defining your problem, you will work like a person stumbling in the dark. In the design stage, you synthesize your observations about the users from the first stage, the emphasize stage. The 5 stages are not always sequential. They do not have to follow any specific order, and they can often occur in parallel and be repeated iteratively. As such, the stages should be understood as different modes that contribute to a project rather than sequential steps. Before we go into what makes a great problem statement, it's useful to first gain an understanding of the relationship between analysis and synthesis that many design thinkers will go through in their project. Tim Brown, CEO of the international design consultancy firm Ideation, wrote in his book Challenged by Design how design thinking transforms organizations and inspires innovation, that analysis and synthesis are equally important and each plays an essential role in the process of creating options and making choice. Analysis is about breaking down complex concepts and problems into smaller, easier to understand constituents. We do that, for instance, during the first stage of the design thinking process, the emphasize stage, when we observe and document details that relate to our users. Synthesis, on the other hand, involves creatively the puzzle together to form whole ideas. This happens during the define stage, when we organize, interpret, and make sense of the data we have gathered to create a problem statement. Although analysis takes place during the emphasize stage and synthesis takes place during the define stage, they do not only happen in these distinct stages of design thinking. In fact, analysis and synthesis often happen consequently throughout all stages of the design thinking process. Design thinkers often analyze a situation before synthesizing new insights and then analyze their synthesized findings also more to create more detailed synthesis. What makes a good problem statement? A problem statement is important to a design thinking process because it will guide you and your team and provide a focus on the specific needs that you have uncovered. It also creates a sense of possibility and optimism that allows team members to spark off ideas in the ideation stage, which is the third and following stage in the design thinking process. A good problem statement should thus have the following traits. It should be human-centered. This requires you to frame your problem statement according to specific users, their needs and the insights that your team has gained in the emphasize phase. The problem statement should be about the people the team is trying to help, rather than focusing on technologies, monetary returns, and product specifications. Broad enough to creative freedom. This means that the problem statement should not focus too narrowly on a specific method regarding the implementation of the solution. The problem statement should also not list technical requirements, as these would unnecessarily restrict the team and prevent them from exploring areas that might bring unexpected value and insight to the project. Narrow enough to make it manageable. On the other hand, the problem statement, such as improve the human condition, is too broad and will cause team member to easily feel daunted. Problem statement should have sufficient constraints to make the project manageable. How to define a problem statement? Methods of interpreting results and findings from the observation-oriented emphasize stage include clustering and bundling ideas and facts. Second, empathy mapping. The third, point of view problem statement. And the fourth is how might we questions. And the last one, how laddering. So let's start with the first one, clustering and bundling ideas and facts. In space, saturate and group designers collate their observations and findings into one place to create a collage of experiences, thoughts, insights, and stories. The team saturate describes the way in which the entire team covers or saturates the display into their collective images, notes, observations, data, experiences, interviews, thoughts, insights, and stories in order to create a wall of information to inform the problem defining process. It will then be possible to draw connections between these individual elements or nodes to connect the dots and to develop new and deeper insights which help define the problems and develop potential solutions. In other words, go from analysis to synthesis. The next stage is empathy mapping. An empathy map consists of 4 quadrants laid out on a board, paper, or table, which reflect the 4 key traits. that the user demonstrates during the observation stage. The four quadrants refer to what the user to what the users said, did, thought, and felt. Determining what the user said and did are relatively easy. However, determining what they thought and felt is based on careful observation of how they behaved and responded to certain activities, suggestions, conversations, including cues such as body language displayed and the tone of voice used. The next method is point of view problem statement. A point of view is a meaningful and actionable problem statement which will allow you to ideate in a goal-oriented manner. Your point of view captures your design vision by defining the right challenge to address in the ideation sessions. A point of view involves reframing a design challenge into an actionable problem statement. Your articulate of point of view by combining your knowledge about the user you are designing for, his or her needs, and the insights which you've come to know in your research or emphasized mode. Your point of view should be an actionable problem statement that will drive the rest of your design work. You articulate of point of view by combining these three elements: user, need, and insight. The next method is how might we questions. When you have defined your design challenge in a point of view stage, you can start to generate ideas to solve your design challenge. You can start using your point of view by asking a specific question starting with how might we, or in what way might we. How might we question are questions that have the potential to spark ideation sessions such as brainstorms. They should be broad enough for a wide range of solutions, but narrow enough to specific solutions that can be created for them. How might we questions should be based on the observation you have gathered in the emphasized stage of the design thinking process. For example, you have observed that youth tend not to watch TV programs on TV at home. Some questions can be guide and spark you. Ideation session could be: how might we make TV more social so youth feel more engaged? How might we enable TV programs to be watched anywhere at any time? How might we make watching TV at home more exciting? The how might we questions open up to ideation session where you explore ideas which can help you solve your design challenge in an innovative way. The next method is why-how laddering. As a general rule, asking by yield more abstract statements and asking how yield specific statements. Oftentimes abstract statements are more meaningful but not as directly actionable as them, and the opposite is true of more specific statements. For this reason, during the define stage, designers seek to define the problem and will generally ask why. Designers will use why to progress the top of the so-called why-how ladder, where the ultimate aim is to find out how you can solve one or more problems. Your how might we questions will help you move from the define stage into the next stage in design thinking, the ideation stage, where you can start looking for specific innovative solutions. In other words, you could say that the why how laddering starts with asking why to work out how you can solve the specific problems or design challenge. The second stage in a typical design thinking process is called the define stage. It involves collate data from the observation stage, first stage called emphasize, to define the design problems and challenges. By using methods for synthesizing raw data into a meaningful and usable body of knowledge, such as empathy mapping and space, saturate, and group, you will be able to create an actionable design problem statement or point of view that inspire the generation of ideas to solve it. The how might we question open up to ideation session where you explore ideas which can help you solve your design challenge in an innovative way. Thank you very much for your attention.